Ignoring crumbling mortar or bricks doesn't do anyone any favors. In fact, it won't even help you save money. Instead, it does just the opposite. That's because it will not get better or will not even stay the same. Instead, it will progressively get worse. Cracks in mortar or bricks allows moisture to enter at a quicker rate, and all of this trapped moisture will go through freeze and thaw cycles that put additional pressure on brickwork. As a result, you'll notice additional spalling. It is a very common call that we get as far as most masonry companies go. The problem with chimneys is people don't give it the proper consideration for repair that's required to do it properly. A major reason for this is that they only see the outside spalling. What they don't realize is that if there's outside spalling, the damage inside the chimney is many times worse and is actually a risk hazard for considerable damage to the home.
In this video, you will see all the safeguards A&A Masonry puts into place to do the right job and a proper job to make sure your chimney is completely safe and can last maintenance-free for many years to come.
A&A Masonry, an award-winning company servicing the Greater Toronto Area and the Golden Horseshoe. When it comes to chimneys, it's a very common call to get when somebody looks up and notices that their bricks are spalling, that there's effervescence, and there's deteriorating mortar on a chimney. The problem with the chimney is, unlike the rest of the masonry that's around the house that is protected with the roofline, the chimney exceeds the roofline and is exposed to the elements, mostly by water, on all different sides, including the top. It receives water on the top. Water then gets trapped inside the cavity of the chimney itself. That dampness stays, and as it goes through the thawing and freezing process and seasons, it wants to push outward, and it deteriorates the brickwork and the masonry work from the clay flue liner on its way out. As a result, it deteriorates and pushes out over time. And actually, as it's doing that, the weight of the chimney itself wants to fall on itself, so that erosion and that process is when you start to see the bricks that are spalling and popping their face off because of water trying to escape and the freezing and thawing cycle. And that expansion and contraction is what causes those things to deteriorate the masonry. Also, the chimney deteriorates from the inside out. When you see spalling on the outside, you must realize that it's many times worse on the inside. A common misconception is that you can just replace the eroding or spalling bricks, or layers of bricks, that can be seen from the outside. Unfortunately, this is not a safe fix and is actually a waste of time and money. And it's because those new bricks that got replaced are sitting on deteriorated bricks unseen from the outside, and the lower section of the chimney that the new bricks are sitting on is going to fail, risking the whole structure. So in order to do a proper fix, there really is only one solution, and that is to remove all the bricks that are above the roofline. Sometimes you have to go into the attic space and below the roofline to get a nice, clean, dry base of masonry on which to build a new chimney on. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead and build an entire chimney. The way A&A does it is that we have a proprietary method when we finish it, with the chimney cap and the clay flue that exceeds the chimney cap. There's a cavity around there like a donut hole. We fill it in such a way with such a mixture that will prevent hairline cracks on the surface that can allow water to get in and start the process of erosion happening again. This A&A proprietary cap is vital to ensure the chimney will last a long, long time. But chimneys are really one of the most underestimated of all masonry jobs by the public. Chimneys don't get repaired properly because most people just do an aesthetic fix. They try to patch it up or they try to replace a few bricks. This can be due to cost-saving concerns or can occur due to some of the common false information out there on chimneys. But it's like trying to replace a few shingles on a roof. If you only do a percentage of it, the roof coverage is only as good as the weakest shingles or the oldest shingles. And the same thing with the chimney. If you try to go ahead and replace a few bricks, the rest will crumble. Or you just put some mortar in the joints, water is still getting into the inside and is wanting to make its way back out again. So it's just going to continue to push out. So the proper fix and the only way that we do a chimney rebuild is exactly that, where we rebuild it down from the roof line all the way back up, meeting all the code requirements, and also doing a nice aesthetic look. That's going to be the best brick match and the mortar matching so that it is aesthetically pleasing as well and looks like it's never been done. The most common mistake that people make or assume when they look at a chimney is they look up and they say, oh, it's just a couple of bricks. The problem with that, first of all, is access. You always have to keep in mind that masonry is an unusual trade. Unlike other trades, you have to have a working station up there with mortar boards, trowels, hammers, saws, chisels, and disposal going up and down safely. Bricks, if they hit wood planks on scaffolding, can ricochet and bounce into the neighbor's property, break a window, damage a car, hurt somebody. So there has to be a lot of consideration to keep the property safe. First and foremost is the access point. We have the scaffolding up on a single flue chimney, meaning there's only one cavity. It's pretty straightforward. There's maybe 100 and 150 bricks generally in those. But when you start getting into double, triple, quadruple flue chimneys, you can have as many as 2, 3, 4 tons of material that have to go down safely, and new material has to come up again safely. The new bricks have to be laid in a way that's going to be straight and follow a line. These are other types of common problems that we see on a lot of masonry jobs and repairs when we go in and look at them. On inspection, we see we have to correct a chimney repair that's been done 5 or 6 years prior because it was done freestyle. Freestyle, meaning that every brick that you lay has a wide variety of ways in which to be crooked, whether from front to back, side to side, one corner to the next. So you really have to take the time and ensure that each brick is completely level as you're going up, so that it's nice and straight. The reason for this is as moisture hits the side of the brick and the chimney wall, it's going to run down, and any imperfections are going to cause the water to accelerate or decelerate. The acceleration and deceleration of water commences the erosion process. So if it's done perfectly straight, like a brick wall under the roofline, then the chimney has a much greater chance at lasting for a longer life. So if you care for your home, and if you want the right solution for your chimney, make sure that you call the professionals at A&A and let them get to work for you to make your chimney and your home safe and lasting for years to come. To schedule your next project, contact A&A Masonry today.